That's a cool question. You know, why don't more of the original vampires come into the new vampire genres?
Before anybody else, like instead of casting new shows and new people, since your cast has already been established and you already have like 9 seasons of shows, why not use you guys as the foundation for the new series and say bring new people in?
The reason, mortality, brother. Vampires don't age, and I do. You know, like. Vampires are supposed to be young looking and beautiful, man. And I'm starting to look experienced and wise. You know, and there's roles for that. You know, but the other part of it, I think, is that that everybody wants to make their own vampire. You know, everybody, like, vampires were kind of like Bela Lugosi. There were a couple of good vampire pieces. What is it? Frank Langella did a vampire, a Dracula that was pretty cool, but they weren't that popular until Anne Rice came and reinvented them and put them into the mainstream back in, was it the 70s or the 80s or something like that? And they weren't the other anymore. They were portrayed as having human qualities emotionally. And they became metaphors for what it is to be human. And Anne Rice was the first one to do that. And then Joss came along and made them the opposite of that, and just a metaphor for the problems that you kick the butt of the problem and you move on with your life. And then Twilight came on and flipped it back to Anne Rice, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now it seems like vampires are used by every author to put their own stamp on the genre. They change the rules radically, and it's like an entirely different universe every time. So I don't think the writers would want to use anybody else's vampires. Like, I'm going to make my own, and I think that's a good thing. I think that people are discovering that you can do a lot with vampires. I don't know that you could do that with Wolfman. I don't think that every generation has its own Wolfman. You know. Thank you. Thank you. I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna be in Twilight.